All right, back here on the Morning Rush. Momentarily, we'll chat with Ryan White, the executive director of the Razorback Foundation. Again, if you have a question, you can text us in. We're not taking calls, but I've got a good chunk of it. I've done my best to talk with as many season ticket holders the last couple of days. Tommy, you kind of deal with this process here at the radio station. I know some fans are not happy. Some fans, I actually talked to some fans that are happy about this. We'll try and balance it out here coming up in just a bit. So we had a chance to meet Ryan in October at the Hot Springs Village Razorback Club, back-to-back champions, Tommy. That I did not contribute either year, but Ryan made sure to congratulate us on that. Ryan, appreciate you making time for us this morning. I know it's been I
don't think that's why he's here today.
No. But if you want to do that again, you're more than welcome to. I guess my first question is, what has been the biggest question that you guys have received at the back end of this week?
Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me. I would just say that every donor's situation is unique. Everyone's giving is different. Everyone, in terms of how long they've had season tickets, is different. Everyone's season ticket location is different. Some people bought tickets 5 years ago, want to get back involved. So I think that's what makes these processes so unique, is that every individual situation is unique. And so we want to sit down, we want to talk to people and let them know, walk them through all the details of the plan, so that when it comes time to reseat in August, that they are more than prepared and hopefully in a good spot to get something that they want.
Ryan, I know you weren't here when we went through this process with baseball and Baum Walker, really for the first time since it opened. But what was learned by the folks at the foundation? What was learned from Hunter Yurchek and his staff that was learned from the organization, if you will, from the university, that you made changes in this go around?
Yeah, good question, Tommy. What we really kind of drew from that experience was, number one, putting a dollar value on a seat that was somewhat arbitrary. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like it. They felt like their hand was forced to do what we were essentially telling them to do. And in addition to that, we felt like in this particular process, having a process that doesn't put a dollar value on a particular seat, but really lets supply and demand dictate where donors are going to sit, was probably the most fair and equitable way to do this. The other thing that came out of that is we had a number of folks that had quite a few tickets in baseball. And I think what we learned from that process was that we were going to reduce the limits in terms of how many tickets people could take. Now, it's a little different in basketball and baseball. You got a baseball that's a season ticket is much less expensive than a basketball ticket. But as a part of this process, we have reduced levels that you probably have seen. And we've taken our top level at the time, which was the platinum level, where donors could get up to 18 tickets, and we've reduced that to 10. And you might say, well, how did you guys come up with that? Well, we just took the average from this past year of all donors at all levels, and that's how we came up with the new limits for each giving level.
So is that why we haven't seen really a defined seating chart for Bud Walton that says, all right, it's this much to sit in these sections, it's this much to sit here in the upper deck? Is that why we haven't really seen a visual on that yet?
That's correct. The only thing that we do, and we're communicating this to folks, that the lettered rows along the sideline, donors that are going to select in that area, which are some perceived as the best seats in the house next to the courtside seats, we're limiting donors to select 6 in that area. Obviously, if they can select more, let's say they qualify for 10, they can select the other 4 in the corner or on the baseline or up in the numbered rows.
We're talking with the executive director of the Razorback Foundation, Ryan White. Ryan, you've been in Athens, Ohio, at Ohio University, most recently in Lawrence, Kansas. I know that's a prestigious facility at Allen Fieldhouse, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlottesville. So you've been around. What have you learned at other places that maybe kind of helps you go through this process here?
Yeah, I was involved at 3 of these at the University of Virginia. 2, one was a brand new arena, one was just a pure reseat, and one was a football reseat. And so I think what I've learned is that there's, as much as we try to come up with a perfect plan that suits everybody, it's really hard to do that, right? And these are, as Coach Cal kind of alluded in his press conference, these are not fun things to do. I think the new world of college athletics, and with NIL and rev sharing, and we're going to add 75 new scholarships, we've got to find ways to generate new revenue. And in this particular case, reseeding is something that we've been talking about for a couple of years now. Now, we thought we were going to do it in conjunction with the renovation of Bud. Obviously, our priorities changed with that. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing is really, no matter where you do these, to empathize with people. I think empathy is really, really important. I haven't been coming to games for 30 years. And so I do appreciate that loyalty and that support. But quite frankly, we've got people that have been waiting to get basketball tickets and can't. So, for example, this past year, now granted, there was a lot of excitement around Coach Cal, but the last new donor that wanted to come in and get seats, it was our Broyles Matthews Silver level. It was a $5,000 level. So we think by going through this process, we're actually going to be able to increase the number of season ticket holders beyond the 2,900 that we have currently right now to help more fans, and hopefully that results in more butts in the seats.
Okay, because I want to walk through that because I just kind of did some country boy math yesterday. After you take out student tickets and ones the university retain, if I used a number of about 15,000 available seats, am I somewhere in the ballpark?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then if the average ticket holder has 4 seats, and I don't know if I'm right on that, that's 3,750 ticket holders. I mean, I know there's 19,200 seats, but, there's not 19,200 people that buy tickets. So in the end, there's only going to be room. You're saying there's 2,900 now? Maybe that goes to 3,500, 3,800. Is my country boy math somewhere in the ballpark?
I'd say a little less than that. I think we're going to be able to help some folks, but I think it'll be less than 3,500.
So in the end, there's only going to be less than 3,500 people that this increased is going to force them to fork over the money and make that decision.
Yeah, Ryan, I just got a text from a season ticket holder who sat courtside for the duration since courtside tickets were being sold. We just took a call from Ron last segment about that he's been at 107 for umpteen years and has paid $1,200 and now is being told he has to pay $10,000 to keep his tickets. I think my biggest concern is all this as a guy that's grown up here is you've got all this new money in Northwest Arkansas that can afford these raises in ticket prices. And there have been fans that have sat through just crap of Arkansas basketball for about 2 decades that was not successful, did not have consistency, and yet they continue to pay for those season tickets, continue to show up, and continue to support the Hogs despite not necessarily having good basketball teams to watch. So how do you, and I know this is, you've got a million things, how do you balance that, like the money aspect versus the fans that have sat through games, sat through seasons, sat through stuff that has not been successful? Like, how hard and how difficult is that in your position?
Extremely, extremely difficult. I want to go back to one of the callers that said that they're being asked to give $10,000 to sit in 107. Nobody's saying that section is worth $10,000. Supply and demand will really dictate where people sit in the arena. What we're advising people to do is maximize what you can do on your giving. Put yourself in the best position. When you see the map and when we open this thing up and there's a ton of inventory, and the only people that those seats that will be locked up will be people that have given at the diamond level. Currently, right now, we have 54 brand new diamond level members. So those folks will be able to retain their current seats.
That's the $40,000. Is that the $40,000 level?
That is the $40,000 level.
All right.
We projected 70, and right now, as a part of our projections, that $4 to $6 million number, but we're now projecting in the range of 100 to 125. The biggest benefit is that people can retain their current seats and parking, regardless of quantity at that particular level.
Ryan, one of the other. No, you finish your thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to get back to you, your question, your other question, and I think it's a good question. I just think that we're in different time right now. We're being asked a lot in terms of, as Hunter alluded to the other day, we have a runway of about 12 months to try to figure out how we're going to generate $25 million. And so if we want to remain competitive and we want to remain in the SEC, one of the toughest conferences in the country, we have to look at opportunities like this. And yes, this does impact the fan. We understand that. We get that. We also have a lot of fans that maybe don't call in who are really excited about this and said, hey, man, I have 8 tickets in the building, and they're all over the place, and I'm going to be able to consolidate them all. And this is great. And we have a lot of people looking forward to it. So while there is a segment of the fan base that's frustrated, and I get it, we also have quite a few folks that have been waiting for this opportunity as well.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I did talk to a few season ticket holders that are happy about that because they felt like that they either didn't have the opportunity to get certain tickets, or in that situation you just kind of alluded to. I guess, Ryan, we're running short on time. You mentioned the SEC. One of the things that Tommy and I have talked about this week is maybe it would help Razorback fans understand it, and me and Tommy, Clay, whoever else, is to have a side-by-side of what these SEC foundation tiers are and match them up to what the Razorback Foundation is. I don't know if it's significantly less. I don't know if it's the middle. I got no idea where it's at. But that might be something that you comparatively show Razorback fans, say, this is what you're getting versus other places, and this is what you're paying compared to other SEC fan bases.
For sure. And we do that, and we benchmark and see what other schools are doing, and that was really the reason behind creating that new diamond level. We felt like we were on the lower end for one of our top giving levels, and our donors have responded to date, which we're greatly appreciative of. But we still have a long way to go. And I'll just say this in closing. We had 471 phone calls over the last 2 days. We've scheduled 50 in-person meetings with donors and prospective donors. And to date, we've had 117 donors increase their level for a net increase of just over $1 million. So we've had some really good momentum. What I want to tell Razorback Nation right now is if you have any questions about this, please call us. We want to talk to you. We've got time. The pledges are not due until March 31st. We're here to work with you, figure your situation out so that we can best position you for that reseeding that comes in August.
Ryan, last question. This is going to generate somewhere around $5 million, this reseeding that will help the foundation. What impact will that money have? What will that allow the foundation to do to support athletics?
Yeah, that money right now, Tommy, is planned to be earmarked for the rev sharing and also the additional scholarships that we plan to take on. Right now, that additional scholarships are going to range in the range of about 2.5 to $3.5 million. So the money that is generated from this will go towards both of those things.
Ryan White, head of the Razorback Foundation, their executive director. Ryan, I know, again, busy week. Appreciate you making time for us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you,
Go
Ryan.
Hogs.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.